Very good morning, students. Today we are going to learn about the demonstration of cut section of electrical machines. So, you would have well learnt in your theory sections about the various machines, electrical machines. So, we have divided them into two parts, one is called as DC machines, another one is AC machines. DC machines, as the name itself suggests, so if whether it is a motor or a generator, the output and the input are going to be direct currents, that is DC. So, if it is a DC generator, it is an electrical machine that is going to convert the mechanical energy into electrical energy. If it is a DC motor, so it is a machine that is going to convert the electrical energy into mechanical energy. Nevertheless, so irrespective of its application, the construction of both the type of machines are very similar, and we can classify the construction of these machines broadly into two categories. So, one is stationary part, another one is a rotating part. So, stationary part is known as the stator. So, to name a few of the stator parts, so we have the outer cylindrical drum called as a yoke, then we have the base plate, the lifting eye, the terminal box, the pole system. The pole system consists of the pole core and the pole shoes. There is a winding that is made on the pole core, and this winding need to be excited. Who is responsible for giving the required magnetic field in the air gap between the stator and the rotor? To talk about the rotor, so the rotor parts will include the armature conductors. If it is a DC machine, then the commutators, the brushes, and then the shaft. So, all this will be mounted on the shaft. So, this is about the basic overline or the outline about the electrical machines. So, since it is a demonstration, so we are going to show you the different parts of the cut section of the machines. So, followed by which, so we will turn it on and show you how exactly the machine runs. Just look at this machine. This is a DC motor. So, I was talking about two parts, one is the stator, another one is the rotor. So, stator parts, this one what you can see here, it is an outer cylindrical drum. Based upon the application, the material of this yoke differs, right. So, this is going to give you the required mechanical support to house the machine inside like this. So, the outer cylindrical yoke will either be made up of cast iron or cast steel. If it is made up of cast iron, then it can withstand a magnetic flux density of about 0.5 Weber per meter square or Tesla, and if it is for huge applications, so this yoke will be made up of cast steel, which is around 1.5 Weber per meter square or Tesla. That is the magnetic flux density that this yoke can withstand if it is made up of cast steel. Apart from the high magnetic intensity that the yoke can tolerate for a cast steel, one of the major advantages of using a cast steel is about the electrical and the mechanical properties that the cast steel can possess. So, it is possible for us to judge what are the electrical and the mechanical properties of a cast steel. But if it is made up of cast iron, since it will be made up of we can say it is a pig iron, so it will be difficult, and there is going to be blowholes present in the pig iron. It will be little difficult to guess the mechanical and the electrical properties of this yoke. Then inside this yoke we can see the pole system. We can see this. This is going to be the pole system, and this pole system will be tightly riveted to the yoke with the help of the nuts and bolts like this. Can we see here? Okay, so it will be very tightly riveted to the outer system of the yoke so that it does not move. Then this pole system will have a shoe. So, we can see here this is going to be the pole shoe. So, inside on this pole core there are windings. So, behind this there is going to be windings, the copper windings, right. This windings need to be excited either with the help of a pivot generator, or we can give the external supply so that current passes through this windings and magnetic field is created. There is an air gap between the stator and the rotor. This is the rotating part. So, this air gap, in the air gap there is going to be a magnetic field that is going to be created. Alright, and then coming to the base plate. So, you can see here this is the base plate, so which is used to hold, we can say, which is used to place the machine on a required place. Then this is going to be the terminal box backside. So this terminal box where the wire system will be taken and connected to outside world, right. The current will be taken out if it is a generator, and the current on the supply will be given into the machine if it is going to be a motor. Okay. So this is about the terminal box. Now let us look into the rotor. So we can see here, this is the armature, the rotating part, yeah, this is the armature, right. As we can see, the armature is at the center of the system which is made up of alloy steel, such that it will have low resistance and then high permeability, and the armature is been cut into various slots. We can see the slots here. The armature will be cut into slots, and there will be conductors that are placed in the armature. These conductors will either be connected as lap winding, or they will be connected in the form of wave winding. Okay, and these conductors are made up of copper wires, and the copper wires are not only insulated from each other, but also they are insulated with respect to the armature slots. Now since this is going to be a DC motor, so that means it has to take the supply from the mains, that is the AC supply, but the windings have to be given with the DC. In order to convert the required AC into DC, there are commutators here. Can we see the commutator segments, the copper wire, segments we can see here. This is going to be a commutator which is going to convert the AC supply into the required DC for our armature. Okay, and then we can see a carbon or a graphite material here. This is going to be the brushes. The brushes are going to be placed on the commutator like this, which is going to just slide over the commutator. So these brushes are responsible for collecting the current. Since it is a DC motor, it is going to collect the current from the supply and give it to the armature. If it were to be a generator, so this brush is going to collect the generated current, the induced EMF in the armature, and give it to the outside terminal box. Nevertheless, since this is a DC motor, the brushes is going to collect the AC current and then pass it on to the armature. Clear? And what is this part? So this is going to be a fan. Okay, so this fan is going to cool the system, and nevertheless there will be little air gaps also given in the armature. There are holes or ducts which are placed on the armature, so which is also going to cool the entire system. So followed by the last part of the rotor, it is going to be the shaft, as you can see here. Okay, so if it is a generator, so this shaft will be connected through the prime mover into the turbines, so that, for example, if it is a hydroelectric power generating system, so the water is going to fall on the turbines. When the turbine rotates, it will be connected through the prime mover to the shaft, and the shaft also rotates. When the shaft rotates, we know that this pole is responsible for giving the required electrical field. Okay, so then the electric field will be cut by this conductors. So according to Faraday's law, whenever there is a cut in the flux, an EMF is induced in these conductors, and this EMF will be in the form of alternating or the AC, which will be converted through the commutator into DC, and it will be collected through the brushes and it will be given to the terminal box here. Okay. If it is a motor, what happens? We give the supply through the terminal box. From the brushes, it is going to go to the commutators, where commutator is going to convert it into a DC, and then the armature rotates. So since the armature is rotating, it is converting electrical energy into mechanical energy, where the load will be connected to the shaft. So what did we understand from this? So irrespective of whether it is a motor or the generator, the construction of the machine remains. So hope you have understood the various parts of the DC motor. So now let us quickly turn on the machine and check how it runs. Yeah. So I am slowly increasing the voltage. You can see that the armature is rotating. Since it is a motor, it is taking the electrical energy from the supply, and then the shaft is rotating. The load can be connected to the shaft, thus converting the electrical energy into mechanical energy like this. Now let us look at the AC motor. This is a AC motor, and the construction, we have two parts again, the stator and the rotor. There are slight modifications from the DC motor to the AC motor. The main difference is the presence of commutators in the DC motors and the absence of commutators in the AC motors. So, commutators is majorly required to convert the AC into DC supply. So, anyways, since it is directly an AC motor, we do not require any commutator. Apart from that, all the parts and the constructions are very similar. So, let us go back again. So, as I said, there is an outer cylindrical drum which is called as a yoke. So, then this is stationary. We have the pole system. So, you can see here the poles and the pole windings. So, then we have the base plate and the terminal box as we had in the DC machine also. So, then coming to the rotor parts. So, this is going to be a fan which is rotating, which is mounted onto the shaft, which is used to cool your system or cool the armature. So, then the shaft is being mounted on the armature. So, inside there are going to be armature and the armature slots. In the armature slots there are going to be conductors which are placed. Okay. So, with this, so the AC motor takes the supply from the 3-phase. We can see here the 3-phase is given through the auto transformer. Okay. So, it is given through this board. So, the 3 different wires R, Y, B are connected to the field system and also to the armature. Okay. So, now as I said, once the rotor rotates, the magnetic flux lines will be cut and the EMF will be once the magnetic flux lines will be cut, then that means whatever the 3-phase supply we are giving it to the shaft rotates with the 3-phase supply, and then the load will be mounted on this shaft, that is converting the electrical energy into mechanical energy. The shaft rotates because of the electrical supply that is being given through to this motor through the terminal box here. Right. With that note, let me turn on this AC motor. So, let us slowly increase the supply. We can see the shaft is rotating because of the electrical power that is given to the motor, converting electrical energy into mechanical energy. So, you should make sure that the current and the voltage supplied to the motor do not exceed the rated current. Now, let us see another type of an AC motor called as a synchronous motor. So, full detail about the synchronous motor you would have already studied in your theory part. Nevertheless, so we have the outer stationary part, that is a stator part, as a yoke, then the base plate, the terminal box and the pole system here. So, we can see that the pole system has got windings, the pole core has got windings. So, which when excited is going to provide the required magnetic field, and then coming on to the rotor part. So, the rotor part, this entire thing what we can see in the center is going to be the armature or the rotating part. So, on this armature conductors we have the poles or the brushes here. We can see here. So, these are going to be the black graphite or the carbon brushes. So, which will be connected to the external terminal box, from where the 3-phase power or the 3-phase current will be provided through the brushes into this rotor. So, once the electricity is provided, electrical energy is converted into mechanical energy through the rotation of the shaft. So, as we can see, the construction, the various parts of all the 3 machines what we saw, that is the DC machine and the synchronous motor and the AC motor, all of them are very similar, and the way the windings have been connected is going to differ on the application. Okay, let us turn on this machine again. So, with the help of the auto transformer, I will slowly vary the voltage and the current. So, we can see that the synchronous motor starts to rotate, the rotor is rotating. So, the load will be connected to the shaft, which is going to convert the electrical energy into mechanical energy. The speed can be varied with the variation in the supply, and this is the fan which is going to cool the entire system. Okay? Yes. Thank you very much, one and all.